S.K. Chakravorty, HOD Commerce, RSY College, Ranchi. Subject EC402C, Management of Industrial Relation, MCOM Semester 4. Now I am discussing about lockout in industrial disputes, delivering lecture totally industrial disputes. Industrial disputes under lockout become a very important and important phenomena as lockout. Lockout means the closing of a place of employment or suspension of work or refused by an employer to continue to employ any number of person employed by him. Lockout by the labor is a very dangerous situation for a factory, because total work of a production work of a factory becomes stopped because all labor locked the factory for production, exchange, distribution, for any work of a paralyze any work of industry. The situation become paralyzed. So lockout is a very important phenomena for destroyness of the industrial situations and for the country. The features of lockout are: number one, a closure of industrial undertaking due to apprehension of industrial dispute, violence, and loss of property. Number two, it is the suspension of employment relationship between employer and the workers. Number three, a situation when employer refuses to provide work to the workers by locking his premises and not allowing its employees. Thus, whether it is strike or lockout, the consequences are detrimental to the industry as a whole and the economy of the country, because they lead to loss of production through stoppage of work and consequent damages of national economy. Obviously, by result of lockout, national damage, national GDP hampered. You must know, if the factory, industry, or the manufacturing concerns by any causes, if lockout by the labor, then no production is there. Whenever production is not arises, then automatically industrial losses is there, and national losses is also there. Then GDP automatically slow down in the country. It is not good for the country. It is always hampered the country's economic situations. Then we must anyhow lockout settled with the labors in short periods. The machinery of settlement may be categorized by two ways: statutory measures and voluntary measures. Statutory measures means when illegal way we try to close the lockout with the help of labors, with the help of industrial relation rules and regulations. The major statutory is Industrial Strike Act 1947. In 1947, several acts is there, and with the help of 1947 Act, which creates different authorities to preserve industrial harmony, prevention and settlement of disputes and lockout. Under dispute, lockout is there. Anyhow, under the prevention measures, we studies carefully, analysis carefully, then we apply it to the labor management in between employees. So it will be comes down, it will be solved anyhow. The principal objectives of this act are to prevent illegal strikes and lockouts, to provide relief to workmen in terms of layout, retrenchment, etc. Retrenchment is a very dangerous situation, because if the employee or the labor become become as more than requirement, then management sometimes retrench, sometimes in Hindi chutney, the retrench. So after the effect of retrench, the labor become furious and they anyhow lock out the factory, and to give the workman the right to bargain collect at the time of lockouts. At that very time, the management give right to bargain collectively among the workers, among the labor, among the low category of management employees, etc. Authorities created under the Industrial Dispute Act 1947 for settlement of dispute as lockouts are: first, work committee, conciliation officers, board of conciliation, court of inquiry, adjudication, voluntary arbitration, grievances settlement authority, and standing orders. Next, miscellaneous. Under miscellaneous, there are miscellaneous miscellaneous prevention. That chief labor commissioner, regional labor commissioner with labor enforcement officer, etc. are there. So these are the main authorities created under the Industrial Disputes Act 1947. Now we are discussing about voluntary measures. Voluntary measures for settlement of industrial disputes is based on Code of Discipline announced in 1958. It includes both ethical methods and other methods to ensure industrial democracy. The industrial democracy is promoted by three methods. Industrial democracy is promoted by three methods, like number one, profit theory and co-partnership. Number two, collective bargaining, that is acceptable to both parties, both the parties involved in labor management relation. Number third, recognition of union. These are the main points of industrial democracy is promoted. Now, ethical measures. Ethical measures are of four categorized. Number one, Code of Discipline in Industry. Number two, Inter-Union Code of Conduct 1958. Third, Code of Efficiency and Welfare. Number four, Industrial Travel Relation 1962. Sometimes industrial dispute settlement measure involving third-party intervention. It may be any form, conciliation, adjudication, arbitration. After a careful perusal, I can say that lockout is a very serious and dangerous situation among the labor and the managerial concern. The top level management and the owner and the owner of the business, top level management, or become haphazard after lockout, because every production, distribution, exchange, and marketability and marketing management become zero, and the top level management wants to money. If the lingers lockout several months, several years, then it will automatically damage the industry and goes to closure of the industry. So we must prevent, we must settle a lockout situation always we call. It must be prevent anyhow, because prevention is better than cure. And remedies for the settlement of the lockout situation become the second situation. First situation is prevention, and lockout, in this way I want to say lockout is the very serious things for an industry.